My name is Cleoni Crawford from IamCleoni.com, and I am here with
Blake Shand.
Basically, we're just going to ask some questions about mental illness. Blake, can you introduce yourself and let me know about your experience with mental illness?
Well, okay, as I've already said, I'm Blake Shand, current member of APC as a lead organist and fellow member of different ministries around the church. My experience with mental illness came at a very early age, just in terms of my own family members, in terms of my mom. Really being manic depressive from a younger age, not really getting the proper assessment from our family doctor. And it really affected our day-to-day life because there was really a big disconnect within the home. And so, the relationship that could have been there wasn't always there.
Okay.
Glory be to God that, he helped our family later on to make up for lost time.
Okay.
And my mom was able to get the help that she needed, both physically and spiritually. And so, she's definitely better off than she was when we were younger. But not having the proper knowledge, and not sometimes you can go to a doctor and not receive the proper assessment that you need. So that was very keen looking forward now, as not just a person who's involved in ministry, but an everyday member of society. People I deal with, that I have to be knowledgeable, and I have to be sensitive in terms of being able to watch for, maybe signs of whether it be anger or illnesses or just actions or signs of irritability that different people might, display, that will come from the root of a mental illness.
Wow. Okay. And my next question, based on that, why do you think it's important to raise awareness for mental illness?
It's definitely important to raise awareness about mental illness. For one, every aspect of our community needs to be aware. I mean, we have retirement homes, we've got public schools, we've got malls, and every time, at least once a day, you go out in public and you'll see somebody doing something that you don't understand.
Right.
And oftentimes, the general stereotype is that we classify these people as crazy.
Yes, mud.
When the fact of the matter is that they're not crazy, they just need help.
Yes.
And so if we are aware as a community about mental illnesses and the symptoms that are displayed according to the various topics and assessments, then we can better help people, whether it be in our one-on-one approach, or it's in the fact of getting them help to an actual physician or psychiatric help or whatever it may be.
Okay. The next question is, how do you think mental illness affects our church?
It definitely affects our church. Our immediate location at APC, we minister to, a broad range of communities that stretch as far from Bowmanville straight through to Brampton. And so you've got all of Durham in the GTA coming to Durham, right on that borderline between Durham and Scarborough. And so with that, you're going to have family members who come in. You're going to have people that are witness to that will be able to understand that Jesus saves, but then they have a condition that they came here with, right? And that is just the actual reality of being a Christian. We were sent to the lost. We're sent to witness to them, to pray for them, to help them in any way we can, whether it be tangible or intangible.
Right.
And a lot of the intangible qualities of help that we can give will come with servicing those who have a mental illness or have a mental illness and haven't been assessed.
Yes.
So
right.
We, the church, it definitely affects us on two fronts. One, it affects us if we're not knowledgeable. And then two, it affects us if we are ignorant, and ignorant in the terms of not knowing how to help them. Because we can have people that are in our congregations, people that are on our choirs, people that are ministering, and we don't know that they're suffering with depression, suicidal thoughts, anger problems, you know what I mean? People that are just constantly sad and are turning to pills, people who have addictions. These are real everyday issues that are not segregated from the church. And a lot of times people end up getting mad and they say, well, the church is full of hypocrites. No, what the church is full of is we all have a reason why we're here. We all need help. Some of us just need a lot more variations of help than others. Some, all they need is the altar. For some of us, we need the altar, we need counseling, and we need an assessment. And that's just the way it is. So when the church becomes knowledgeable, then we can help, we can be better suited to not just reach communities from Belleville or Bowmanville to Brampton, but we can actually, within the community, start to affect and say, well, hey, here's a group of people that we've encountered that they've been suicidal or they're manic depressive. How can we help them? Okay, we've got the information, so this is what we have to go through. Sometimes the best information on how to help somebody is knowing that you need to refer them to somebody else.
Right.
A lot of times we, the church, we take on things and we label it under it being a spiritual situation, but the fact of the matter is they need to be assessed and they need to talk to a psychiatrist.
So it's very important to be able to distinguish whether it's a physical matter or a spiritual matter.
Definitely. Knowing how to discern between those two factors helps us in dealing with damage control in a sense, and then it helps the community really look at the church for what it is just it's just a place where they can come and be helped and be loved. They came to the church because they know they needed God. And they were introduced to God and introduced to a relationship with Him. They came with their baggage. Every one of us came with baggage. I came with baggage. And some baggage I still have, and I work consistently to try and give it to God. But at the end of the day, this is why we're trying to get knowledgeable, especially about mental illness in the church. So that way when people come in and we see them and they may act different or they're up one month and down the next month, we don't cast them off and say, oh, well, this person decided to do this on their own. No, we say, well, you know what? I know that these symptoms that this person is displaying is related to this illness.
Right.
Maybe we need to look into this further. And so definitely that's in my opinion, that's how mental illness affects the church.
Okay, great insight. The next question I have is, why do you think it's important for sufferers or people who are living with mental illness that they get an opportunity to share their stories?
It is definitely, and this is, I'd probably say, the most important question of all. It is definitely important for those who have had or have a mental illness to share their stories. One, because you allow people to get to know who you are beyond what you're diagnosed with. You are not your diagnosis. You are a living person. God loves you. We as people, we love you. And so when you share your story, you're teaching, first of all, because every person is different.
That's right.
And I've even come to find that life is so paradoxical in the sense that I could be on this hemisphere of the earth in North America suffering in something or going through something. Yet still there could be somebody on the other hemisphere of the earth going through the same thing, and me and them have never met. And so we're two faces, different people sharing one mirror. And that mirror is the thing that we're going through. So when you share your story, what you do is you push back the mirror, and now I get to meet who you are.
Right.
I stop seeing a reflection and just saying, okay, well, I leave it at that. I get to know who you are. I get to know how you think, what you even feel about your own diagnosis.
Yes.
Or how do you feel about having to be diagnosed, or just the turmoil that you may have gone through, because a lot of times a lot of help can be provided through people sharing their story of where they are or where they've been. And what it does, it helps to heal. It helps to heal them, and it helps to heal me, because I might hear something from them that will help me to say, hey, I'm going through that now.
Right.
I didn't know that's what I had to do to come over this. Let me get in touch with my doctor, or let me begin to talk about this. For me personally, as a young child, I had a lot of anger problems.
Okay.
Right? And so really and truly, when I'm going to school, teachers are like, yo, what's wrong with Blake? Well, the fact of the matter is I'm going through things in my home that are causing, and I bring them with me to school. Even though I'm a child, I bring them with me to school, and they make me either not want to pay attention, they make me want to cause trouble because I'm upset,
Right.
point blank, period. And you're not my mom. So the fear that I have and the respect that I have for my mom, guess what? You're a punching bag.
Yes.
And a lot of teachers don't know this. So when kids come to school and they're angry, they send them down to the office or suspend them and expel them, rather than looking into the person of who they are, rather than what they're diagnosed under, or what they're, they label them as a troublemaker. Well, no, he's just angry because he's going through some things at home. A lot of teachers and a lot of people didn't take the time to look at me and try to figure out what was going on.
Right.
And so they labeled me as a troublemaker. They told me that I wasn't going to be any good. They told me that I wasn't going to amount to anything. Even family members in their anger have said certain things to me that, I had to rise above. Point blank, period. But what it did in my rising above what I was told, I was able to help those that were in that place or are in that place now. And they're like, wow, I never looked at it like that before. I never saw that version, that aspect of it. And so it's definitely important to share a story.
Amazing.
Definitely.
So our last question we're going to ask is, why do you think Happy Home 42 would be a great initiative for our province, community, and even the church?
Happy Home would be, first of all, it is a great initiative. We would say would be if it wasn't created, but it's already been instituted, so we say is because it's here now. That's number one. Number two, it has to be, let me go on public record to say it has to be supported, because it's not just a movement that we're trying to raise money or we're trying to gain status of the person who the movement is brought to the world through. But I look at everything as a ministry. So through you, Cleoni, God has used your trials and tribulations to erect a ministry that can help people bring awareness, help share testimonies, and reach those that may feel unloved, may feel unwanted, may feel like the aliens within society. And so they can become helped, they can become known, and they can go from being black and white to being in color of who they are. So Happy Home 42 definitely needs to be supported for the mere fact, from our church aspect, this is how we're going to reach the lost, to let them know, hey, yeah, I had a mental illness, but I got great psychiatric help, great physical help, and I also got great spiritual support from my church. That's necessary. The world needs to hear that message. Number two, we as the church, we definitely need to rally behind Happy Home 42, because the fact of the matter is there's a lot of us who are in churches who have people that are not saved, or they're backslidden, or they're in our congregations, like I said before, and they are hurting because of an ailment, because of a mental illness that they're not aware of, or they don't know how to categorize. And so when we get the information, it's not enough to just get the information and know how to help, but now we got to start getting out the message. Right? The Bible said, and Jesus has given us the commission to go out into all the world and preach the gospel to every nation, because it's not his will that any would perish, but that all be saved. And so you look at it, that's what Happy Home 42 is doing. It's another aspect of evangelism, really.
Wow.
Evangelizing to those that have a mental illness, to say, hey, here's a ministry that is willing to stretch hands down and get on my hands and knees and reach you where you are. Great. Help you to tell your story, help you to find a direction in terms of overcoming, and helping you to go forward.
Amazing. Wonderful. Do you have any final words about the initiative, myself, what you think? I'd just love to hear what you have to say.
Well, definitely I want to say, keep pushing forward. What you started, it's not just about your trial and tribulation. Your story is included in it, my story is included in it, and other stories will be included in it, and how to overcome and how to make others aware that you can be an overcomer. You don't have to be stuck with a mental illness all your life.
Yes.
There is a way for you to be a fully functioning, contributing member of society, and you can serve in any capacity. But we have to know how to get help to them. And I want to thank you honestly, I want to thank God for you.
Oh.
Because the fact of the matter is had you not been here, I don't know if Happy Home 42 would have been established.
Right.
Because it's really molded out of your trials and tribulations that's helping us all to get out our stories, right? And so definitely I want to tell the world that we have to support her. We have to support Happy Home 42. So on Tumblr, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, get on these lifelines, get on these multimedia outlets, and let's support, let's push the vision, let's help to get the awareness about mental illness out there so we can help a nation that is really going down in this end time.
Wow, thank you very much, Blake. So this is Cleoni Crawford from IamCleoni.com signing off. Take care and God bless you.
God bless.